A childhood wound I talked about often were my abandonment ones. I no longer abandon myself to keep the peace or abandon situations when I feel fed up. Something that's been coming up more clearly lately is how far I've come also in rejection wounds. Abandonment and rejection coincide, and I can relay specific details of memories in both. These were what made them separate healing paths that I needed to go through. I've never felt accepted in my family. I was known as a sensitive one, always crying when I got in trouble, crying when others were fighting, crying when siblings were getting in trouble. Individually, my family weren't provided emotional safety, therefore I wasn't. Still, I couldn't turn my emotions off like my grandma wanted, no matter how much I tried. I felt for my whole family all the time and all their turmoils that they've gone through. Constantly excusing their behavior, making stories in my head to justify their wrongdoing to me, that became so natural to me. I did it for everyone in my life. When I got hurt, I just proceeded to deal with it alone. Growing up, I was made to feel I wasn't worth putting effort towards. I spent so many years rejecting myself. I've been left in alleyways, casinos, random houses, not fully understanding why I was dumped there. Everything I wanted to do has some sort of shame or backlash. My self-esteem didn't stand a chance. The females in my life held anger, resentment, insecurity, and duty, constantly telling me what to do for others, who to be, never being the perfect size, or do makeup good. No guidance in these, just projections. I was encouraged to dismiss my needs to be of service to others all my life. I also had 12 years of an evil stepmother figure. Let's call her Envy. Very opposite her name. Whenever she'd see my dad and I have a moment, she'd interrupt, bash on it, get jealous. Eventually, with years passing, she won. And when she did, I recall nights of sleeping in the living room, her coming to me whispering threats to stay away from them, pinching me. She'd complain I never bought her anything for presents, but she was present in my life between 4 and 16. I got my first job at 16. Many females in my life were constantly complaining that they had to raise me. How burdensome. The males in my life never complimented me in anything for my brains, looks, skills. It warped my view early on receiving male validation. Wow, all these compliments I never heard before. Even if sometimes it was just on my body, I was glad to be seen by anyone. Feeling neglected and rejected when all I wanted was to feel part of my family, getting to know them, asking about them. This desire played out in all my relationships in so many different degrees. Being with people, romantic or in friendship, I'd constantly hope they'd want to get to know me as much as I was putting in the effort to do with them. Overgiving in affection and effort to get something, anything back. This was a really long old pattern. Since young, I learned how to reject my needs, voice, and heart. Every time I felt sad, I'd go into a space and just deal with it alone. Crying my heart out, speaking aloud how I wish things were different and that someone wanted to understand me. Grandma always said, I never hit you, so why are you crying? Then my paternal side did have the physical stuff amongst the other stuff, so I never knew how to process my pain. I think the first time I expressed I felt numb as an emotion was at 11. That's when I brought my first liquor to school, so I guess that makes sense now. I started drinking to intentionally numb the pain at 16. I was stuck on drugs at 19. Constant rejection of myself and environment made me stuck in complacency. I never knew to love my body, so I hated it for sure, and all the ways it changed during my adolescence. I hated how I never felt I could be myself, since I easily felt shamed, embarrassed, belittled. I hated that I got embarrassed easily. My inner child carried that memory of a performer throughout my life, but shame was louder. My inner child also carried that loving, diplomatic big heart and was willing to give it to anyone who would give me an ounce of attention, yearning for years for anyone to gladly receive my loving side and reciprocate the energy. Instead of the passionless, mundane, codependent connections I was forcing myself in, then the couple times I did receive grace and love, I didn't know how to accept it. I was so used to not getting what I wanted that when it was there, I pushed it away. Blocking my own blessings to stay in comfort zones in fear of rejection or disappointment. My first steps to reprogram rejection of myself was taking accountability of my money and my lifestyle. This began in January 2021. I started by journaling the money coming in and all my individual transactions. Then I categorized them for funsies because my brain likes to work like that. I reflected every month on my finances. In the beginning, I did carry shame, but I learned not to do that. I played Just Dance in my room every day to keep up with the streaks. I started walking outside once I became comfy in my skin. I just simply remember a huge flashback. When I did shrooms sometime in April 2020, I looked at the mirror and I felt truly disgusted. I looked at myself and felt disgusted, and that was the first time I could describe my feeling like that towards me. Those walks were so good for me in all the ways. I learned later on that scientifically, going on walks, allowing yourself to have these memories flood and have your time to think, they work together. This is a great moment to release what you are holding on to because your body is in movement. It's already, releasing energy. Why not intentionally release that energy with the thoughts that arise during these walks? Something I did for me to you. I realized people see my potential as much as they're able to see theirs. I used to take it personal up until this month. During this time, it showed me not to project my expectations and stay upset if things didn't happen the way I wanted them to. I communicated my thoughts to others much easier, knowing there will be hard conversations. My healthy discomfort is side-to-side conversations about how we each process a situation. I've noticed a huge difference in how I talk years ago and now. Less blame on the person for making me feel that way, and more of the fact that I am feeling that way and I just want to know the root. My journey consisted of saying how much I hated myself for years, constantly rejected my soul and needs. Now I'm learning to reject myself less and less every day. Baby steps are so helpful. I guess that's why I'm becoming unbothered by others rejecting me, because really, it isn't about me. We clearly didn't magnetize, and that's okay. Which brings me to resonance. I've been yearning for years a close-knit group of friends that completely accept and celebrate each other. Throughout the past couple years, I noticed that the more confident I was becoming in myself, the more divided I became with my surroundings. A catalyst for my constant moving during homelessness. Can't blame them. We used to resonate, and then we didn't. When I went to crochet events last year, it excited me about the group of people I'd be around. On a night, I got invited to a listening party. I met so many warm-hearted creatives, it allowed me to relax in the new space. When I didn't make any lasting connection, I felt rejected initially. Last winter, I still held onto a lot of pain. I expected these new connections to be the friends I needed when I was going through a hard time. Last week, I released that painful programming. It was a way to control the flow of a connection. Instead of being patient and allowing it to bloom as naturally as it's meant to, I felt the most rejected when a person I had been hanging with a lot during this crochet adventure forgot my name. You know when you feel a shift in energy within a connection, then something confirms it? Envy is a silent relationship destroyer. I know my intentions are pure and genuine in building with people. Now I see every situation as what I enjoyed and what I didn't, what I want more of and what I could do without. Reflecting back at that time, I enjoyed watching creation bloom, seeing art from other perspectives and forms, showcasing and admiring each other's work. It felt really good to be in that type of energy. What I could do without was the imposter syndrome being there. Throughout my adolescence, I kept saying I wasn't creative. Also, in expectations for connections, I'm excited to see myself in group settings and events now. My level of detachment has heightened, though my yearning for community love and support has tripled. After all these lessons in unique hermit homes this past year, I am really excited to apply them. Maybe a comfort zone is shadow work because as soon as I cleared something big, I'm ready for the next. In this, it's relationship mirroring. I experienced that being in North Carolina. I'm grateful to be shown my pride, jealousy, possessiveness, apathy. Now I'm excited to see it in a loving soulmate way, whether that's romantic or in sisterhood. Very excited to meet my sisters, to go out on spontaneous adventures with nature and all our stationery, dance in clubs, then by the water, pick each other's brains in our studies, cafe dates for work, late night drives with dessert, hours at a view in stillness, bonfires, fire dancing, witchy, astrology, spirituality, numerology, esoteric topics endlessly flowing. For so long, I allowed others to shine, keeping a safe space for them to be themselves, since that's something I wanted in a connection. I'd bring energy to their ideas, boost their inner child's play and confidence, and do that for myself. It'd be really cool to experience that back. This is what I meant by wishing I had another friend like me. People who wanted to know what I was doing and celebrate, cheer me through it. I have so many projects, visions, lots of things going on for me. I'm craving resonance and compatibility in this season of my life to continue powering through these new areas with encouragement. This is the season of brand new. No more old, painful systems keeping me stuck and small. I am ready and excited to be seen by new energies and spaces. I am ready to take my skills to the next level. After listening to so many successful people over the years through social media, there are things that I've kept with me. To grow, you need a team. To be good in business, you must be good with interpersonal connections and communication. To be relatable. Baby steps are still steps forward. These three are key points of this season's reminders whenever old me feels afraid. These are the key points I'd love to see in my team and those surrounding me as well. Here are some affirmations if you ever find yourself in that space of not knowing what to do when you got rejected, if you feel rejected, if you're rejecting yourself, or if you're finding that you want to invite more space into resonance. Here's some affirmations. I love every part of myself. I face my shadows and embrace them. Rejection shows me what's not for me. I connect easily with resonating souls and experiences. I go towards respect and mutual understanding. I am who I am, and that's enough. I deserve to be fully seen and loved because a genuine partner in love has always been mine. I empower myself when I need courage and strength. I leave where I'm not valued. I do not cause resistance to fit in someone's life. I do not create chaos for myself to fit someone who no longer aligns. I let go of all that does not serve me. I give love to all versions of myself that depended on external validation. I love myself through challenges and hard times. I am there for myself first. I cheer and lead myself. I am open to aligned redirection, and I'm thankful for the protection. I validate my experiences and use them to empower myself. I accept myself fully as I am right now. I hope affirmations like these fuel your fire. Please paraphrase to however you are comfy within your vocabulary. Every day in my journal, I use this slot right here, intentions and priorities. The first line I write is 3 things I want to accomplish within the day. And then under it, I write affirmations. So I write about 5 to 6 affirmations every day based on how I want to feel, how I am feeling, and I want more of, or planet energies to fit. Like, for example, today is Friday, Venus Day. I especially write I love myself this day specifically. The affirmations I wrote for today: I love being in community. I am a force of light and love. I seek higher knowledge. I bring balance and justice everywhere I go. I show others how to open their hearts. Those were affirmations I wrote today. I feel very empowered in who I know I've seen myself to be. Hold on to that vision that you really see for yourself, because these people, they don't see that vision for you. Don't allow their judgments on who they think you are to impact anything you actually want to do. Solely would use that as a tell if they should stay in your life or not. And it doesn't even mean that if you are the type of person who can hold space for people who don't fully understand your vision, but you still want them in your life. Like, for me personally, it's really hard for me to do that, because I eventually will find that I need someone to support me, especially because I'm constantly doing something different and being something different. And that's why I find you can't really hold on to anyone who holds on to a version of you that you are trying to like evolve out of, or just not be in this state or in this season. Doesn't mean they have to ultimately leave your life in general. It just could mean you're not aligning currently. All I've ever wanted since I was young was to be seen in the things that I do. I felt like I have natural skill for a lot of things, and I just wanted my parents to acknowledge it, to see it, to come to these things. Or I just wanted acknowledgement from my coaches when I was playing sports, because I knew I had skill. I just needed the confidence. It just felt like everyone in my life was so determined to not see me. I know that had to be my trajectory to, come into understanding, to see myself, and the trajectory I'm in right now, and how I am on social media, and how I present myself now. It's still evolving, and this is just my journey. It's sad though for my inner child, and I have to validate that it was sad that I wanted to have someone notice I like to sing, and it didn't even have to be, oh, you were good at it. I just wanted someone to acknowledge that I was even doing it. And that was something I was missing throughout my childhood. That rejection programming really stuck in my brain. It almost did feel like actually I invited subconsciously these things until I became who I am today. These things will repeat until you say no more, and then you go towards something different. That's the risk that we all must take to fight the things that bog us down. We have to just go through them. Rejection comes easily for me now, only because I've been rejected ever since I was born. My paternal grandparents thought I was a boy before I was conceived. They thought I was a boy. When they found out I was a girl, they didn't stay at the hospital. They left. I felt rejected ever since I was younger. Every time I visited my dad's side, and then eventually when I did live with them, all they did was talk bad against my mom. But then whenever my mom came around, I loved it growing up, because it was love bombing. It was, so much love for the moment that I saw her, and then gone. Another rejection. Okay, why did she leave? With my dad, it was constant rejection because First, he only wanted to do things with my brother. Boy bonding. For me, I was like, okay, I'm already rejected from my dad. Constant of that. And then even throughout a lot of friendships, I was rejected. Can't say all my relationships, it was like that. But if I wasn't the one rejecting them, I was the one getting rejected. Like there was just a constant notion of pushing away things good for me and waiting on things that were bad for me. That was something I was used to growing up. Just waiting on people until I couldn't. That in itself was rejecting myself, waiting on people. There's that complexity of what situations can be for you. I hope you reject yourself less and less every day through just simply loving and accepting yourself for each moment. There is no end result perfection that you have to be in any point of your life. As long as you're living, as long as you're open to experiencing things, that's it. That's it. You have no titles to anything. You have no true attachments and ties to anything if you don't want it to. I send you strength. I send you power. I send you encouragement to face these rejections. Allow them to be redirections. Go towards resonancy. Rejection shows, resonancy knows. Just keep going towards people who can simply understand you, and you will know that when you understand yourself. You cannot easily find a crowd that's meant for you when you are not being authentic with yourself too. It has to start there. So it just has to be honest. What do you like? What do you not like? You have to just go towards the things you like and let go of what you don't like. I know it sounds so much easier said than done, but I think awareness of writing it down, just mentally keeping that note, that's just the first step. I totally got this. I send love to you.